Hi everyone, you're right. Went out today, but I forgot to film it all. Well, it looks like the job centre is moving again from Penny Street. It uh, well, we had a walk round town today, and we found out that the job centre, job centre plus Blackburn is to move. They've basically acquired the Debenhams building, or part of it. Um, if if they're going to take the whole building, I don't know. For what I've been hearing is that it's going to be the job centre plus the call centre that is across the road from the chippery. I don't know if the reason, well, I know the reason why they're doing this. The reason why they're doing this is so that the job centre that they have now on Penny Street is being emptied. And the major plan for the DWP is to cut the number of buildings that they have, and this is what's happening. We all know about the new building going up at Blackpool, of which 3,000 civil servants will be moved to once it's completed. But once this is done, there's another major call centre in Blackpool, just on the other side of Blackpool, which is on a retail park. And or is it a business park? Yeah, a business park. And what they're planning to do is, once they get this new tower block built in Blackpool, it's going to house 3,000 DWP workers. And I reckon what's going to happen is the Blackburn Building, it's fairly new, to be truthful. I've got a funny feeling they're going to knock it down and put something else there. The rumour is that they're going to put apartments there when they knock that place down. Where they're going to park the vehicles, nobody knows. They're keeping that pretty quiet. So I only found out this today, and that is quite a big building. Is the Debenhams building, and we'll see what happens, because I was cut off by surprise today about that, and yeah, 6 of one, half and a dozen of the other. But the major thing was what caught me off guard was the area that it was in. Right, when you go down to the corner of Ames, no, between the two, the shopping centre and where the Halifax. If you go down to the bottom, that where that is, where the new charity shop is on the corner, that's where it is. But if you go round the corner, go to the very end, there used to be a shop called Cash Generator, and what that used to be, it used to be the old job centre, and all the upstairs, it used to go all the way back upstairs, all the way across, and right across to the side of where McDonald's is now, and it's just opposite that. How they're going to put where they're going to park is anybody's question. Are they going to let them use the parking spaces underneath, the bays underneath as parking spaces? Are they? Well, one of the other things I've been hearing, that the security at the mall, yes, the mall, are not too damn pleased about this development, because one of the things that does happen a lot, they get a lot of DWP clients coming into the shopping centre, causing problems, especially people who have drug and alcohol, who are drug and alcohol dependent, and the security there are not too happy about it, but there's nothing really they can do about who buys that, because, to be truthful, that part of the mall doesn't belong to them, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens next, and see if they've taken the rest of the building, because to be truthful, the mall wasn't happy when they announced that was going to be put there. Well, if the government's going to pay for it, so that's going to be a bit of lost space to the mall. But one of the major problems the mall does have is the number of empty units it has, and something like that being there isn't going to make things, shall we say, easy to get tenants in. And one of the other things is there are quite a number of shops in the mall who are near there. Some of them have their leases coming up, and I really do think that those places are going to turn around and say, well, if there's going to be there's going to be problem clients of theirs coming into the mall, and that could cause problems for us, you know. And that's what the feedback from especially shop centre staff would be, you know. We'll just have to see how it goes. Let's see how often they have to have police response. To be truthful, it's not a good place to put such a facility there. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. See if they have taken over the whole building or not. They only might have taken part of it. But we'll see what will happen, and find out what's what. You never know, they might be sharing it with a retail outlet. Maybe maybe a small training facility or something, like people teaching people how to work in a shop, shall we say. You never know. Well, as I said, I had to walk round Blackburn today, and it was grim and miserable, really, due to the weather. And I must admit, the place is turning into a pigsty. It really is turning into a pigsty. And it also came across an article today, and it's saying that the 30 people aged 30 and below, I think it's 30 to, I can't remember what the article said. Yeah, people in the 30s are flocking to Manchester. Yeah, and I don't really blame them, really. It'll liven the city up for when they move there, if they move there, because of the new developments that are going up there. I must admit, Blackburn is quite a large ghost town, really, and I've also noticed that they're starting to put takeaways into different areas now, not just Darwin Street. But we'll see how the town fares. I understand one of the clubs has reopened on in town, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. The Wee Chief pub, as the conversion of that has stopped, and some of the developments in Blackburn, it's mainly house building at the moment, but all the other developments have stopped due to financial issues. But the other thing I must let you know about, there was the startings of exploratory drilling on the Daniel Thwaite site. We'll just have to see how that goes, because they sent a caterpillar unit across the site, drilling holes here, there, and everywhere, so that when to sit, export, drilling for stuff to see if there was any drains or anything underneath. We'll just have to wait and see. A big massive shout out to all the Blackpool bloggers out there, who I just had a look at the take a walk on the wild sides video. Pretty good. All the starlings and everything on the piers. Nobody knows why they do that, but it's they do some pretty good formations and everything. And I liked about what he did about the walk he did along the prom, all those so-called all them things are on display along the promenade. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do next. Are they going to replace some of those with something new? I've been hearing that the Pleasure Beach is going to be selling off parts of the big one in the in the Pleasure Beach shop, but there are some significant pieces of the big one being sold. Talking about the big one, the tracking of that is going to be the tracking of that ride is going to make a considerable difference when you ride it. It's not going to be as bumpy, especially on that lift hill and the first drop, because the track that they replaced, it needed replacement. What they're going to do about the Grand National, I don't know, because I wish they hadn't got. I wish the heritage people didn't get involved, because, as they said on Pleasure Beach Experience, rides do have a certain life cycle, and at the end of the day, they have to be, replaced, because they can only last so long. Manufacturers are only around so long. Take Schwarzkopf. They did the Olympia Looping and one or two other roller coasters. But what happened? What happened to them? They just went out. They just couldn't make enough money, and they went out of business. And you've got Mac Rides. They're still going, but they also have a testing ground, because they own an amusement park. They can basically turn around, build a coaster, and test it have people ride on it, and they said, well, if that's, and say, well, that's working fine and everything, and that, because they do make quite a few rides. So do Zamperla and one or two others. If you have a theme park to test your concepts out, yeah, good job's a good one. Also, some of you from the UK may have noticed there is going to be, well, this name coming up, Camelot. Everybody knows what happened to Camelot, but they're going to have start having they're going to have an event there very soon. They're going to clean the place up first, so that people can come along to it, so it's not shall we say, a hazard to people. What they're going to do is going to have a zombie attraction, and maybe bring some more, resurrect the park again, But we don't know what the future is going to be for that park, because a lot of the buildings got demolished. They sent the bulldozers in, but they've left certain parts of the park up. I don't know if they've left the fort up and give it a good old paint, but we'll just have to wait and see what they're going to do with that, because that land has been sat there empty for disused for years. The only part of that land that is regularly used is the hotel, and that's about it that was left behind. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. But I know they're talking about putting a zombie attraction there. Well, I'm going to get going, because I spoke for long enough, and yes, I do really think that Blackburn is still a dump. There is litter everywhere, and it's not a nice place to live. If you're 30 years old and under, and you're thinking about getting a place, don't come to Blackburn. Don't come to Blackburn, because it's a ghetto and it's not nice. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, click.